this video, we would like to show you how to conduct an effective demo of beneficial Minit functionalities. This is the Project Hub. It's the main starting screen of Minit. It gives you an overview of your projects and allows you to manage them. You can see all the projects that you have been working on, an overview of imported processes, and created views. Views are storing all your settings for analysis, filters that you created, so you can quickly point out results that you achieved. By clicking on the context here, you can share the view, make it public, or publish to dashboards. Let's start with the data import. First, let's create a project. By clicking on the left menu bar and choosing the plus icon, you can create a new project. Enter the project name. For this example, let's call it Demo Project. To import the data log, click on the Add Process button in the top right corner. An intuitive import wizard will guide you through the importing process. Minit supports several types of data sources: standard CSV, Excel files, data from SQL servers, or an import through an ODBC driver. We will use a data log from a file on our computer. To do that, click on the file icon and choose the demo data log file from our computer. Minit automatically recognizes data patterns and shows a preview of the data. As you can see, it has correctly recognized the delimiter. In our case, it's a comma. On the next screen, you can see a preview of the event log. At this stage, we are defining how the information in the data log should be processed. You can set and fine-tune the required attributes that are needed for the analysis and for the Minit algorithms to work. Let's look at our event log now. Minit recognizes the data based on column names. In case of the column name differs, it is necessary to specify the information in the column. The basic attributes of an event log are case ID, activity name, and a timestamp. At the same time, these attributes are the minimum data log requirements for process mining to work. Case ID is the unique identifier of the records. In our case, it's the ID of the invoice. But it could also be the number of a project, number of a patient, or something similar. Simply put, it's the case that we will analyze in Minit. Within the process, our case goes through multiple statuses, or what we like to call activities. Activities describe the process flow, showing how the case is flowing through the process. When it comes to timestamp attributes, there are a couple of options. Timestamp holds the information about the particular date, for example, when the activity started, when it ended, or how long did it last. If there's only one timestamp available, it is most probably an event start. If there are two timestamps available, it is most likely an event start and event end, depending on the actual data. Other useful attributes include users as a resource, and it tells us who performs the activities. It is also important for the social chart that Minit generates, as it describes how particular employees cooperate. Perhaps some of the actions are taken by the system, so you quickly find out the automation rate and reveal the opportunity for process automation. Finance. It shows the amount of money that flows into each particular step in the process. There are three options to choose from: per case, per event, or per resource. Per case expects that the amount is not changing during the process. The financial value will be calculated once per case, regardless of the number of events or duration of the case. Per event option expects the values that are changing during the process. The last option, per resource, is useful when you have the information about man-hour rate per activity. Based on this info and the timestamp, Minit will calculate employee costs. This is valuable information whether or not it's worth to invest into process automation. Now we will define and set the attributes. In the upper part, there are several options for attribute selection: case ID, activity, event start, event end, event duration, resource, financial attribute, and case level or event level attribute. By clicking on the case ID, we can see that Minit has correctly recognized the column named primary ID as case ID. Let's make sure all the columns are correctly identified. Activity as an activity, timestamp as an event start, user as a resource, and net value as a financial attribute per case. The other case level or event level attributes are automatically identified by Minit by checking the first 15,000 rows. By having these additional attributes such as customer name, material number, or sales office name, you can get more useful information and find some patterns. You can, for example, analyze where mistakes occur, which employees and vendors were involved in the process deviations, or analyze the performance of your sales. Simply said, the more data you have, the better analysis you can make. In the next step, you can review the import settings once more before the data import by fine-tuning the attribute levels. If you find a mistake, you can still go back by clicking on the previous step. Now you can choose between full validation or without validation of your event log. Full validation will check the whole event lot, while without validation will check only the basic attributes such as case ID, timestamp, and the activity to ensure the process mining algorithms work properly. Give a name to your process. A quick validation report on the next screen shows a couple of warnings due to the missing data. The validation warnings can be green when everything is correct, orange when there's a minor issue, or red when there's a problem. Some records may contain empty values, which might be an expected situation, like unfinished cases. By clicking here, you can also see the full validation report. Click on Open Process. This is how our process behaves in reality. What you can see is a so-called process map. It visually represents the behavior of the process captured in data, using interactive activities and directed edges.